Hi, I'm going to be reviewing Lovecraft Letter today, the new version of Love Letter from AEG Games. It's basically, the 50th version of Love Letter at this point. But really, actually, for once, right away when you open the box, this version is actually kind of impressive. First of all, it comes with custom sleeves for all the cards. The artwork is fantastic and new. You also get these poker tokens, which are really nice. The insert is fantastic and holds all the cards. The book closes and keeps everything very, very secure. Honestly, the edition, just by looks alone, shows that they actually put some thought into this version, unlike so many of the other smaller spin-offs of Love Letter, Munchkin Love Letter and Batman Love Letter and The Hobbit Love Letter. There was all these little spin-offs that were basically just the exact same game with some slight new artwork thrown on most of the cards. I think a few of them had a nice little twist in them, but I don't think they were, in my opinion, looked really all that different. Now, if you've never played Love Letter before, here's kind of a basic, small overview of the rules. Essentially, you shuffle all the cards, everyone gets one, and then on a player's turn, they draw one card, and they play or discard one of those cards. Play and discard are really, they mean the exact same thing. If you play the card, you do its effect. If you discard it, you have to do the effect of it regardless. So really, those terms are interchangeable in this game. The overall goal of the game is basically to knock everybody else out, be the surviving player, and win about 3 times. Love Letter is a very simple, light game that has quite a bit of strategy in there, but half of it's luck and half of it's strategy. I believe the original Love Letter is kind of a lot more strategy than luck. Lovecraft Letter is probably the first one I feel like they put kind of a significant twist on it. There are approximately 24 cards in this, 25 if you include the number 0, which that only can appear if a certain other card is played. But basically the big twist here is, to go along with the Cthulhu theme, insanity. There are 8 cards, 9 if you include the 0, that have green numbers on them. Basically, these are insane cards. When you play an insane card the first time, you become insane. And that means when it's your turn again, you have to do a sanity check. That means you take the deck, you flip one card over. If it's green, you're immediately knocked out. If it's otherwise, you get to stay in the round. This adds a slight push or luck element to the game, as insanity cards are very powerful if you get to use their insanity effect. But the more of them you play, the more cards you're going to be flipping from the deck. And really the whole reason for this is number 8 is Cthulhu. And if you manage to have 2 insanity cards on the table discarded and then play Cthulhu, you automatically win the entire game. I played numerous times at this point. I almost saw that happen in a 6-player game, but it didn't, so I think it's a pretty rare event as long as you're playing properly. Is this the definitive version of Love Letter now? It's really hard for me to say that. I feel like the original theme and game really holds up on its own. And this version, while it's a nice, interesting twist, and everyone I've played with it has really enjoyed the nice little twist, adding that push or luck element to things and upping the strategy in some ways. They like that little twist. But I don't know if you don't love the Cthulhu theme, or if you just that kind of flipping push your luck element doesn't really interest you, I don't think this version is any better or worse than the original. Say it really kind of stands on its own, which is kind of nice. Now, unfortunately, I do feel there is just a slight problem. I have played several 6-player games, and there's 2 cards, the number 8, and there's 2 versions of them, the sane and the insane version of that card. But both of those cards, essentially, if you discard them for any reason, you're out of the game. And I was hoping, but it didn't quite happen, is even in a 6-player game, it happened more often than not that someone would start with the number 8, and then when it was their turn, they drew the other 8 card. And you can't do anything about it. You basically you're out. That's not the worst thing in the world. Luckily, Lovecraft Letter and Love Letter in general is a really short game each round. As long as everybody's not thinking too hard. Probably around 5, maybe 6 minutes long each, so the whole game is maybe 15, 20 minutes. that's really not so bad to just get knocked out right away. It does kind of suck because, you can't really do anything about it. There's no strategy. It's just poor luck. And that's another thing that may turn off some people, is this version has a little bit more luck, I feel, than the original Love Letter. You have, the insanity check. So you flip a card if it's green. So really it's luck whether it is. But obviously there is some deductive reasoning there. If you see other players have played one green card each, you can surmise that, if you're playing a 6-player game, that's 6 cards are out. So there's only 2 left in the deck, and 1 might have been burned. So you have a little bit more probability of actually staying sane. The only thing I can say, if you don't really like that push your luck, or you really don't like Cthulhu, I just don't see any reason for you to own this version of Love Letter. Nonetheless, if you don't mind Cthulhu, or if you're looking for kind of a new, interesting version of Love Letter, I feel this fits that bill very nicely. The only negatives I really have is that kind of a push your luck element, and kind of you draw a card and you got both 8s and you're out of the round. Those are really kind of the only negative things I've really felt about this game. But like I said again, the game is just so quick that even when you have poor luck like that, you're out for about 2 minutes and then you're back in the game. And it stinks. It means you're maybe not as close to winning as you would have liked, but it's such a short, small, light game that I don't think problems like that really make the game horrible. So that's my review for Lovecraft Letter. I hope you enjoyed it. Keeping it nice, short, and sweet for this one. Just like always, if you really like this review and you'd like to hear more, like, subscribe, comment below. Tell me what games you'd like for me to review. If there's anything you would like to see on these shelves, some sort of action figure or something, let me know. I'd be happy to see if I even have it and want to put it up on the shelf. Otherwise, it's just going to be kind of a random smorgasbord of things on every video. So, see you next video. Bye.